Today we're going to be doing a mini band workout. So start standing on your mat facing forward with your feet hip width apart. That means there's roughly a fist width between your feet, and you're going to grab your band. Now I want you to hold the band in your fist like so, and then take it behind your back and hold it in the fist behind your back. Great. We're going to start lengthening the spine, but do depress your rib cage down. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Standing up tall, you want to scoop up your tummy and take your hips back about 2 or 3 centimeters so that it feels like you're on your heels, but you're still pressing your toes into the ground. Now your arms are strong and long, and there's a slight outward pressure into those arms, pulling the band gently apart. On an inhale, you can nod your chin towards your chest, but try not to squash it down completely, leave a little bit of space, maybe 4 fingers off the sternum. Then you'll pull the sternum back, so it's like you're dropping your rib cage down and you're rounding your upper back, curling down bone by bone. You'll allow the spine to curve and respond, and the arms just do what they do, leaning forward for me. You're welcome to take the hands up towards the ceiling and try and stretch into the shoulder joint, or you can just leave your hands where they feel comfortable, and you're going to roll yourself back up, tucking the tailbones under and rolling up to standing. We'll go again, nod chin to chest and curl down. Try not let your hips lean too far back, so you want to actually lean forward over the forefoot. Soften in the knees a little bit for me, Jillian. Inhale there, and then exhale, roll yourself back up to standing. So if your shoulders don't feel comfortable, just don't open the band so much. Inhale, chin to chest, and roll down for your third and final roll down, checking in with your spine, checking in with your body. Inhale here, and we exhale to roll back up, unraveling to stand. Good. So now, testing your balance a little bit, I want you to step into the band and put the band around your knees / shins. So it's not quite thigh, it's actually lower leg, and you've got a bit of resistance into the band. We're going to open the stance so that you're standing nice and wide. So the feet go wide. Good. And then your arms float up on an inhale as you bend your knees, taking your bum bones back. If you can keep your knees opening into the band, you'll keep your knees in line with your feet. So don't let the band force your knees in. You're going to want to open up and have pressure out. Draw in your tummy and stay in this position. Just being here is work enough, so we don't have to add too many bells and whistles, but you will co-contract your arms, biceps and triceps, and lengthen them. All the fingers are squashed towards one another, and me spending time talking about your body is actually tricking you into sitting there and being patient. Push your toes into the ground, please, and shift your body weight back by 3 centimeters so that you start to work different muscles to the ones that you intuitively want to work. Keep the belly button towards the spine and the rib cage closed. Now clench your bum cheeks, wrapping the glutes around to your center. So if you can imagine that cling film is around your pelvis and you're wrapping the cling film to the middle, you'll activate the glute in a different way. Now holding that position, we're going to bounce here. So we just bounce on your heels, rib cage back, just trying to work those glutes and their newfound contraction points. And we do 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rise on the last one, feeling those glute muscles activate. Inhale, drop down into the same position, bum goes back, weight goes back, ribs go closed, hold yourself there. So we're going to press the toes into the ground and roll the ankles slightly out so that there's a bit more alignment in the ankle joints. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You decide how low you go. So if you're ready to go lower, go for it. If you need to come a little higher, no problem. But I'm still stalling while you wait in this position before we make you bounce. Let's tuck in the chin and pull the shoulders down your back. And then we bounce. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rise on 1. Good. Now with anything you feel like 2's enough, but 3's just right. Inhale, you go down. Shift your weight back. Try hinge your body more upright, keeping the abs knitted. Remember, we want to be on the heels, but the toes still need to press down. Bounce. 10, 9, 8, 7. Make it come from your glute, not from your thighs. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and rise. Fantastic. You can lie down with the band still around your knees. So if it means getting on your hands and knees and crawling into position, so be it. But if you can get down any which way, I'm happy. We're going to open the feet the width of the mat so that you have a nice wide stance. So you'll move your feet to the sides, even wider than that. Yes. The toes are just turned in ever so slightly, and your heels need to be closest to your bottom but wide. Okay. Open the knees into the band, and you can move the band if it's been on the same spot. You can move it a little higher up so that it has like a new piece of skin to pinch. Right, hands are at your sides. You're going to keep the rib cage pressed down and your abs in. You get to imprint here. So often I start in neutral, but now you're going to tuck yourself into what we call a posterior pelvic tilt. And I'm just going to use the right terminology so that over time you learn what we mean by different things. So the posterior pelvic tilt is when you actually lift your bum bones slightly off the mat and you tuck your tail and you squeeze your coccyx between your thighs, inhaling. And then on your exhale, you're going to lift your hips up slowly off the floor. But you want to keep your sternum pressed down into the floor, so you're going to drop your ribs lower, a little bit lower than that. It makes it harder to lift the pelvis. Inhale. And then exhale, you come down slowly, bone by bone. Now this yellow band is good, it's fine. But if you're looking for more resistance, you can take one of the other 2 bands and add it to this. So you're welcome to like tether your knees even more. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale to lift up the hips. Inhale there, and exhale, we come down and unravel. And we go again. So the nuances of this exercise, what we're trying to wring out to get maximum benefit is how wide you open your knees and how deeply you tuck, using a combination of your tummy muscles to initiate the tuck and then your glutes to accentuate the tuck. Okay? And come down. The lower you keep your chest on the ground, the more you're going to have to work in the pelvis to get the height that I want out of the hips, but your chest has to stay down. And then lower yourself down for me, and you unravel the pelvis. We've got 4 more of these. You're going to imprint, pressing your big toe into the ground, rolling the ankles to the outside of the feet, and come down slow. And then exhale to articulate back up with an inhale at the top. And you lower yourself down. We're going to go up and we're going to meet at the top. So we stay at the top now. Press the toes into the ground. The knees are open into the band, and you're going to lower your hips a tad. So the lower your hips go, the more your chest comes down, which is cool. So stay there, chest down. Now shove hips up and down. 20, 19, horrific, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, carry on. 8, 7, 6, 5, open knees, 3, 2, 1, down you come. And then you wiggle your feet towards one another, but fist width apart. Feel the pelvis is in neutral now. You're going to arch your low back a tiny bit. Your hands are pressing down into the mat, opening up the collarbones, trying to have an expansive breastbone at the top. And then on an inhale, this is easy. You're going to open your right knee out to the side and assess, did your left knee change its position? Because I don't want the left bum to come up and the left knee to open out. You need to shove your left pelvis and sit bone into the mat and leave your knee still. And then bring your right knee back up towards the ceiling. We do the other side. So you'll feel a natural tendency to respond, to open both at the same time. I don't want you to. Come back. You need to keep one kneecap still, open the other kneecap. And then come back in. And so we move one at a time. So it's difficult to know when you're doing it correctly because you can't feel when you go too wrong. But assume that you're opening both instead of just one. Learn to anchor the bum bone down into the floor so that you can isolate one side of your body without the other side being pulled along or having to have the equal and opposite contraction to make you feel balanced. It's okay if this is confusing. We don't have many more of these to go, but it's also good for you to acknowledge when something feels confusing, so it's something that we can work on together. And last one. Good. You're now going to keep the left foot anchored down, and you'll lift your right leg to tabletop. She knows what's coming. And then pull that knee in towards your chest and take the foot down to the floor. And exhale to pull the same leg in towards your chest. But can you do it without tucking your tail? And so we've got 5 more. And 4. 3. 2. And 1. That right foot goes down, and then the left leg comes up. Exhale. Keeping a little hollow in your low back. 3, 2, and 1. Your feet can move together and they can touch. Your hands will rise up towards the ceiling. Keep them dead still. So the knees are together and the feet together, and the band is completely irrelevant. On an inhale, you move your legs over to the right without moving your hands. So the hands remain above your shoulders like shadows casting down on your shoulder joints. Exhale, you pull yourself back. You can flex your feet up so that when you roll, go over, your soles of your feet actually face, they lift. And then exhale, come back. Keeping those hands still. So be quite critical of the hand placement, because there's always a tendency for the hands to open up without you realizing that they're opening up. And then also you do not want your knees to slide past one another. You want to keep them stacked. So if you pause, you can lengthen your kneecap into my imaginary palm. These 2 hubcaps on your knees have to stay stuck together, and the feet have to stay stuck together, so that that top leg lengthens even more. And then you exhale to pull it back in, and you inhale. Now the other knee is going to want to slide, and you exhale to pull. So there's value in doing the easy stuff well. Keep going over, and exhale, pull back. 2 more. And last one. Good. Leaving the hands up towards the ceiling. Lift one leg followed by the other leg so that you're in tabletop. Squashing the legs together. You're going to place your hands on your shins, lifting your head and chest. In this position, you want to sink your belly button down into the floor. Keep lifting using your abdominals, but rope the hands in as well. So you're actually using your arms to lift you. Sinking the belly button into the floor. The feet stay still for now. The right arm's going to go past your ear, do a big circle, and land on the knee. The left arm goes past, big circle. And so we do another 4. Inhale, exhale around. Good. And last one. Then hug knees into chest and rest your head. But not for long. We're going to add another level. Lifting head and chest, hands are on your knees. Good. This time both arms are going to go. Big circle, grab. Big circle, grab. We inhale and then exhale around. You can go fast for the in, but let's go slow for the around. In and in and 2 more and last one and rest head. Okay. Now we're going to add some leg. Lift head and chest. Arms go past your ears, legs go away. Circle round and grab the knees. The legs remain stuck together. The arms are doing the circle. So don't get confused, because sometimes the legs think they should circle too. Inhale, you zoot. Exhale, you around. Inhale, you zoot. Exhale, around. Let's slow it down. Inhale, you zoot. Exhale, you around. Inhale, you zoot. Exhale. 1 more. And all the way down. Rest your head and chest. You're going to take the band off of your knees. Good. Place the band to your left-hand side. Straighten one leg, straighten the other leg. Yeah, scooch a bit back. Make sure you're on your mat. So that's something, you want to make sure your head is always on the mat, not off the mat. Arms are straight overhead for me. Scoop up your tummy, really drawing up and under your rib cage. On an inhale, you lift your hands up towards the ceiling. And then on an exhale, we'll attempt to do a roll up. Pause with your arms straight in front of you. Your eye line is just past your toes, and there's a roundness in your back, so you're going to curl the back. But then your eye line needs to be over the toes, not onto the shins. Curl back for me, tucking your tail, rolling down, scooping out the tummy muscles, and then take your hands over your head. So if the roll up is quite hard for you, you can bend your knees and grab your thighs to help you up. Inhale, we lift head and chest, and exhale, you roll up. Pause there, inhaling, and then exhale, you make your way back down. This is where you improve, on the down. So I'm happy for you to help yourself on the way up. Sometimes we use a ball in hand, or we'll use a dumbbell in hand to help not hoist you up or use momentum, but take your center of gravity further along. So let's lift your hands up towards the ceiling, and you roll yourself up. If you have something in your hands, it actually helps. And then curl back down with straight legs. That's absolutely fine. Tucking the tail, going slowly, because this is, again, what I said, room for improvement happens on the down. But then you can bend your knees and lift your hands up towards the ceiling, and then lift your head and chest, grab your thighs, and pull yourself up. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms, and we make our way down. Curling, 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 scooping, hands go overhead. Inhale, lift hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, last one. You come up, and then you're going to cross your legs like a preschooler in like a cross-legged position, like a yeah. So you can separate your ankle over onto the floor and put your hands down on the ground for me, and see if you can rock over your own knees into 4-point kneeling. Yeah, and if that didn't work, it's cool. Just make your way into 4-point kneeling. Grab your band in your hand, and you're going to put the band around your palms. So your fingers go in and the band's around. Yeah, you're in 4-point kneeling, applying a little bit of outward pressure into the band, so there's tension in the band. Now we would love to have some roundness in your upper back. Imagine me coming into handstand on your back. And then we want to stick out your bottom a lot. So you're stretching your hamstrings here and threading your pubic bone between the thighs in 4-point kneeling. That means there's a lumbar curve in the lumbar spine, and there's a roundness in the upper back. We want a little bit of a lordosis, so a curve in your neck. So your eye line can't be tucked in looking at your knees. You actually have to look past your fingers. And so holding that 4-point kneeling position, you're going to shove your shins into the floor. Breathe. Inhale into the sides of your rib cage. Exhale to knit your abdominals in. Continue with that breath, warming yourself up, but setting yourself up for a strong and sturdy posture. You've got length out your tailbone, length out the top of your head, and then an opening feeling into the arms and shoulders with your pinkies pressing into the ground. I'm sorry for you because we're going to work hard here. Your right hand is going to go on the diagonal out to 1 o'clock. That's him. Then you come in slightly and you go out to 3 o'clock, taking your arm out. Come back in and we go to say 5. And back in. Let's go to 3 o'clock again. And then 1 o'clock. And so you'll continue to move through these 3 angles. While that left shoulder is sturdy, you press it into the floor, you're lifting your collarbones up, rounding the upper back with straight arms. Both arms are straight. That sneaky one wants to bend, don't let him bend. Continue. You're going to do a good 5 to 8 rounds. We just want to get fatigue in the shoulder muscles. But your shins have to continue to press into the ground. You're shoving your feet down. You're exposing your bum bones backwards and drawing in your tummy. And you're breathing. Don't forget to breathe. How are you going? Yay. So she's doing okay, but she's working hard and she's feeling it, and I hope you are too. Do one more round. And then you finish and we do the other side. So if your wrists are not feeling comfortable, we can make adjustments to the mat by rolling it. And let's start with that left-hand side. You can always roll the mat up and then have your palm descending off a higher surface so that the angle in the wrist is not as great. You slightly down. Otherwise, you go on your knuckles or hold some dumbbells in your hands. But if you're okay to just push through, the wrists are actually forgiving. It doesn't hurt for long, it just hurts while you're doing it, which isn't so nice to hear, is it? But there are a couple of things we can also help you with the wrists, like loosening up the thumbs and loosening up the forearm muscles that might give you more comfort. So it's not a life sentence that wrist pain is there, it can be overcome. So you keep going and you take note of the differences between the sides. Maybe this elbow wants to buckle more than the other side. And you just keep shoving your to the floor and maintaining that curvature, so don't lose the shapes that we've created in your spine, and open more. Good, it's getting tired now. 2 rounds. And then we go 1 more round. Then you can take the band off of your hands and put the band on your ankles and then lie on your left hand side. Preferably facing the screen. The left arm is going to be underneath your head and the legs are straight. So you're going to keep the left leg anchored into the ground, and you can, if you feel unstable, like let's say you're feeling like you're rolling back and forward the whole time, you're welcome to bend the bottom knee, but the top leg be straight. So if the bottom leg is slightly bent, it helps you stabilize, which means you can have a bit more force through the top leg. So we want to square off the shoulders one on top of the other one, close the rib cage and lengthen the right leg. You're reaching the leg to the back corner of the mat, squeezing the glute, and then you lift the leg on an angle but backwards. So definitely these hip flexors and quads want to do the work. We need to turn on the bum, so it has to be quite conscious. You know you're going to work your glute, so if you feel your thigh working, you're probably going forward or just up. I need you to go backwards. So at an angle back, yes. Now reaching the foot into the strap even longer and kicking it back like a backslash back. Close the ribs so that you don't arch your low back. In order to try and make you feel like you're taking the leg back enough, just use that bum. Now keep going. And we're going to do anything from 10 to 15 repetitions. And if the band is too heavy, then you do it without the band. But do it well. Don't tie the ego into the band. Leave the band and just do the movement well. So now we lift up that leg and stay there. Take the leg further back because you know that it's snuck forward. And then in that position, you're going to draw small circles. They're tiny, teeny, weeny circles, but they're mainly backwards. So you're pressing the heel back and hardly coming forward. Like if you could go back and back and back and back and back, then we would. Keep abs in. And so after a good 10, we change direction. Good. Try and keep your head back as well. And then we pause. Now, turn your toes down. Orientate your toes down and then your toes up. So inside the hip socket, you are doing internal and external rotation while keeping everything still. Abs in, heel back, rotating within the socket, reaching out of the socket. Good, then that reduces your crepitus. Keep reaching. 5, 4, foot back more. 3, 2, and last one. And then you can remove the foot from the strap. You're going to hold on to your ankle with your right hand for me and pull the foot back, but do not flare the ribs. Now the bottom leg's still bent. You can bring them forward. Yes, more. By bringing the bottom leg up, you force your, well, not force, but you reduce the arch in your low back, which is good for you. You're pulling your spine into a healthier position and you're making the stretch feel more effective. You want to keep the knee in line with your hip and you want to squeeze your bum. Tuck the tail and pull back the knee and foot. Breathe here, and then if you think, I think I have some more room for stretching, you can put this bottom heel on the front, not the top necessarily, and flex the foot like that. Okay, do you feel that? Yeah. Yay, she feels that. And you can keep the bottom squeezing, tucking into a posterior pelvic tilt, drawing the abdominals in. So we're going to be here for a little while, breathing, making sure the shoulder isn't compromised. If you can't grab your foot, I mean, it's common. So if you can't get hold of the foot, you've got this band that you can use. And you can loop it around the foot and hold on to the band, and you should still be able to get a nice stretch here. Sometimes people get pain in the actual knee joint. I've learned that a rolled hand towel at the back of the leg helps to pry open the knee, and it's much more comfortable. So if that's you, here's a tip. You can always put a little rolled hand towel there. Now we move over to the other side, and you're going to do the glute work on the other side. Bottom knee slightly bent, top leg goes back. We kick the leg at an angle back, and so you're lengthening. Keep lengthening. Yeah, it's done work by stabilizing the other side. So you might feel this glute immediately feel like it's working. Waistline length for me. Remember we said 10 to 15, so give it stick. Backwards, not forwards. And keep the length. Don't be scared to come down all the way and back up at an angle. That's it, drawing in the abdominals. Getting long out this muscle that wants to do all the work. Keep a little house for your mouse on the bottom. And then once we've done enough reps to feel it work and it's catching in the glute, you're going to do small circles. And the circles are mainly backwards. You're always just trying to go further back than you were the previous repetition. And that will keep you in the right place. She's chosen to change direction back. So I'm sure you've done that like 3 or 4 times on your own. Each to their own here. Survival. Whatever it takes to get it done. But if you're burning, I'm happy. That's like really just having the leg in the air against some kind of resistance is good. As long as you're not using the front thigh, I just want the bum to work the whole time. And now we're going to twist inside the sockets. Yes. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the foot out, stretch the front of the thigh. So you have options. You can roll your towel behind your knee and grab your foot, or use your band to grab your foot, but the bottom knee must be up. That's important. That's going to get the most stretch with the least, I'm going to say repercussions, but the reason I say that is you don't want to be arching your back. You want to get the stretch and not let the stretch run away from you. So you are going to keep tucking your tailbone under so that you can pull the knee back against your own internal resistance. And you'll get more out of the stretch. You can put your heel against the front of the thigh, no problem. But it doesn't mean you must bully your knee back and sacrifice your spine. You're going to keep drawing in your tummy, closing your ribs and tucking the tail. Soften in the neck and the head. Shoulder is in a healthy position. We have to spend a little bit of time here. So exercise some patience because the stretch is good for you. Revel in the stretch. Apparently it builds grit, like in your personal life. If you can manage the discomfort of a stretch, it will, flex that muscle of withstanding difficult times. I quite like that. I think that serves us. Let's take 2 more breaths and then we get to come out of it and do an extension. Okay, lying on your tummy now. You're going to bend your knees to 90 with your hands under your forehead. I suppose it would have been helpful for me to have told you that the band is around your ankles. So we're going to hook the band around your feet and then open your feet into the band. Yeah. So your knees are in, but your feet are open. Now, this is a tricky position to get into. So I want you to tuck your tail to protect your low back, and then just feel what it feels like to be here. So everyone should be able to lie on their tummy, and they should be able to tuck their tail in this position. That's the main aim, is to be able to lie on your tummy and tuck your tail and push your pubic bone into the mat. I have the band around your feet so that you can have resisted internal rotation in the hips. So if your knees are close together and your feet are apart, we're already in the right position. So without untucking your tail, you're going to continue to tuck your tail the entire duration of this exercise. So without untucking your tail, you're going to press your feet into the band, opening your feet, but try and squeeze your knees in. And then we do it again. So it's not going to be a big movement. You're not going to feel that successful. You're just going to attempt to open your feet into a band without losing the tuck in the tail. Can you feel that you lose the tuck in the tail? So that's the key, is to maintain the correct activation in the glutes while challenging that activation, because trying to open your feet makes you want to untuck your tail. So don't untuck your tail. Keep your tail tucked and attempt. And so we're going to do quite a few here, because it's not like the movement is big, and it's not like the effect is huge. So rather do multiple activations and try and churn out 20 soft activations, then 10 really big ones. Tuck, 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 tuck. And 3, 2, and last one. Good. You can lower your feet and push back into rest position. Couple breaths here. Just trying to stretch out the spine after it was in that prone position. And then slide your hands towards your knees so that they flank the knees. And you're going to lengthen the spine, untucking the chin, looking forward. The other way, so stick out your chest, yes. And then lift your head and your chest up, arching your back into this beautiful extension, just to show the spine what it feels like to turn on the back of the body. And then come down back into that slumped position. And so we do 2 more. First you stick out your eye line, and then your chest, and then you continue to extend up into extension, and then we melt back, reversing the movement. And 1 more, inhaling back up into your extension, turn on the body, show the brain, and then lie down on your back. Well done. Lying down, arms relaxed, legs loose, wherever they want to be. Inhale through the nose, exhale through your mouth. Softness in the shoulders, softness in the feet. Deep breath in. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the left. Come back to the center. Lift your right leg to tabletop. Using your left hand on the outside of your right leg, you're going to pull the leg across your body, and then you can lift your right arm at 90 degrees, gazing at the hand. Drag that left knee down to the floor. Come out of the rotation, and then do the other side. You're pulling the knee down, looking at the left hand. Deep breath in here. And then come out of the rotation. Leaving the left leg in tabletop. Interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Pull the knee towards your chest and keep that angle and stretch. The right leg is pressed down into the floor, but the left leg is going to straighten up towards the ceiling, extending, trying to do the splits in the air. Good, so we're stretching the hamstring. You're going to keep pulling the toes towards you while you're anchoring the right leg down and stretch your hamstring. Don't bounce it, Jillian. Just keep it still. And then bend in the left knee. Lower that left leg straight, but pull the right leg to tabletop, interlace the fingers. Pull the knee to chest. Shove the left leg down into the floor. What a horrible person. I'm standing on my willing body. Extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Actually, not even to the ceiling. Towards your chest. Yeah, you can hold up towards your toes if you want to. And then come down to tabletop with that right leg. Left leg joins right leg in the air. Arms reach up to the ceiling. Arms open out to the side. On an inhale, take your legs over to the right hand side. Pause there. Don't go to the floor. You want to make sure that your feet drop a little bit so that they level actually with your knees and that your top knee is longer, 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 longer. On an exhale, you pull the legs back. On an inhale, go over to the left hand side. And then on an exhale, pull yourself back. We inhale, spine twist to the right, and exhale, pull back to center. Inhale over to the left, and drag it back. 4 more, and pull. Over to the left, and exhale. Just 2 more. And then last one. Come back to center, straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. So for some of us, this is going to be hard because it's a longer lever. So you're welcome to either bend the legs to tabletop or you can put your feet on the floor. On an inhale, we go over to the right, lengthening the left leg. I'm going to let go. You're going to keep holding it there. On an exhale, you pull back to center. Inhale, you go left. And exhale, center. Right you go. Pull back. Left. Exhale. 4 more. 3. Keep those shoulders down in the ground. Last 2. And last one. Back to center, bending the knees to tabletop. Straighten one leg along the floor. Straighten the other leg along the floor. And you're going to roll over onto your tummy. Straighten your arms along. Straighten your legs along. And then you're going to hover your eye line just off the floor. Lifting the arms and legs up together. Try and get length. You're trying to reach those hands. Trying to reach those legs. The eye line is down, but the neck has a natural curve in it. You're going to lift the right arm and the left leg a little higher. Then you swap, swap, swap. Swimming. Let's go fast. Yes. Do what you can and breathe for 5 counts. Then breathe in for 5 counts. And so you continue to breathe for me while moving. Don't give up. Carry on. If you need to stop, you just hold. Keep going. Nearly there. And wait. Holding up the arms and the legs. And then soften back down. Push bum onto your heels for your final stretch. Walk your hands to the right. Reach that left arm longer. Reach your left bum back. Inhale. And walk your hands to the left. Reach your right arm further. Reach your right bum back. Come back to the center and then lie down on your back. We're going to take a few deep breaths into your belly. Softness. In through the nose. Sigh it audibly out. Another one in. And as you breathe out, you can let all tension go. Well done.